What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video we're going to talk about 5 of the most unbelievable prison escapes. Now, the first thing I got to say about all of this is, we have talked about a lot of crazy prison escapes, jail escapes, and throughout all of the time that we've been doing videos here on After Prison Show. But these 5 prison escapes that I'm about to share with you guys today are 5 that we've never talked about before. And also, here's something else really crazy about all of this. All of these have just happened as of late. I mean, it almost seems like 'tis the season to be escaping from either jail or prison. Doing time in jail or prison, ain't nobody got time for that. And I really love anytime I'm able to incorporate that meme in particular in a video. But again, these 5 unbelievable prison escapes I'm gonna be sharing with you guys, all of these just happened recently, and all 5 of these escapes, well, they're pretty damn unbelievable. And for those of you who do enjoy me doing the close-ups into the camera and you wonder why I haven't been doing those so much as of late, it's because of this damn ring light that the camera is sitting inside of. Damn, I cannot emphasize enough just how bright and blinding that thing really is. But it's with mentioning all of that what do you say we go ahead and dive head first into this video. Now, real quick, I do need to throw this in here. All 5 of these stories I'm about to be sharing with you, in pretty much like 99.9% of these stories, well, I guess a better way to put it would be in all of these stories except for one, I believe all of these guys have since been apprehended and did not remain escaped and free for very damn long. It almost makes you wonder why they would even attempt to escape in the first place. But with the guy in our first story, it most certainly is pretty easy to assume why this guy was trying to escape. This escape happened up in British Columbia in Canada, involving an 83-year-old man by the name of Ralph Whitfield Morris. And again, 83 years old. It's a bad dude right here. To think that you got this old man who was able to escape from a prison. My God, this dude is like Prison Break season 15. Because, I'm really wondering how many more damn seasons they gonna be able to make of that TV show Prison Break. I mean, they done made what, like 7 or 8 seasons of this? How many damn times these dudes gonna be able to escape from prison? But old 83-year-old Ralph Whitfield Morris, he most certainly had plenty of reason for him to be trying to escape. In fact, just to give you a little more insight into old Ralphie here, this would not be his first rodeo. This most certainly was not his first attempt at escaping. In fact, this would be this guy's 5th prison escape. And thinking about that, you would really think that after like the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, maybe even the 4th time, they would have most certainly been taking a little more precautions when it comes to Mr. Whitfield Morris. Because even at the ripe old age of 83, this man must certainly have him some wheels on him. One thing they say about prison most certainly will preserve you. Because you'll see old heads running around with the best of them, with the youngins, acting like they still some damn youngins themselves. I cannot emphasize this enough. I know I've said it many times in the past, but you most certainly ain't experienced life until you've been locked up with a 60-year-old man singing Gucci Gang, rocking a do-rag and sagging his pants. Hey, how old that guy over there? Why that dude look like he old enough to be my grandpa's grandpa, walking around with his pants sagging like that? What does prison do to you for real? Hey, prison must be like a damn time machine. It's like this dude went back to the future or something. I don't know if that made much sense at all. If it didn't, I do apologize. But there's a few more really crazy things about this Ralph Whitfield Morris, 83 years old, who has escaped from prison 5 different times. And the first crazy thing is what this dude was locked up for and where he was actually escaping from. This dude's record consists of armed robbery, 2nd-degree murder, escaping lawful custody, and uttering threats. And do you want to know when this guy first began serving his life sentence? Back in 1982. That was the year that I was born. This dude has been locked up for 35 years, maybe even 36. And the facilities that this dude has been escaping from are all minimum security facilities. Now, to me, this makes absolutely 0 sense. I don't know what the laws are like up in Canada, but I can most certainly tell you down here in the United States, especially here in Virginia, where I've got all of my prison experience from, if you get locked up with a life sentence, you most certainly will you're never going to end up at a low-level minimum security prison. It's never going to happen. Now, you will certainly have dudes there at these low-level institutions who have murder charges, but they don't have life sentences. And they've probably been locked up for something like 20-plus years and have worked their level down to where they are able to be at these low-level institutions. But a life sentence, no release date at all, you are never going to end up at a minimum security prison. It's just not going to happen. Then add on top of that having an escape charge or or like Mr. Ralph Whitfield Morris having 5 of them, you ain't never got to worry about getting to anything less than a level 3. It is never going to happen. So again, I really don't know what kind of laws they got up there in Canada. Obviously, having a life sentence and also having multiple escape charges on your record, it would surely seem that even with that, you can still end up at a minimum security prison. Our second crazy escape story comes to us from Oregon, and this one also just happened very recently. But let's go ahead and meet Joshua Perdue, a Multnomah County inmate. Multnomah. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. A Multnomah County inmate arrested the day after authorities said this guy walked away from his work crew. Dude, you ain't last no time out there. You got arrested the day after? You would think these dudes would have a much more solid plan. Okay, look, here's what we're gonna do. We've got this intricate, extravagant plan to escape from this work detail crew. Just gotta make sure we don't get caught. And we most certainly can't get caught within the first 24 hours, because then we're gonna look real dumb. Josh Perdue told investigators the reason that he fled is because he feared he was facing prison time. Let me get this right, Mr. Perdue. And by the way, any relation to the Perdue chicken family? I'm wondering if that's at all a thing. Like, this guy's last name is Perdue. I wonder if people ask him continuously and compulsively, "Hey, Perdue! Perdue, you got any relation to that Perdue chicken farm?" He probably should have told the investigators he was sick and tired of getting asked about that damn Perdue chicken, and that was the reason why he really wanted to escape. Man, I couldn't take it no more. They asked me 15 times a day if I'm in relation to that Perdue chicken. I would have actually had a better understanding had he said something like that, instead of saying the reason he decided to flee was because he feared that he faced prison time. Let me tell you something, Joshua Perdue, with any relation to that Perdue chicken line, you're most certainly facing you some prison time now. And I apologize, I got a little ahead of myself. I should have continued reading on so I could give you the full understanding of this. This guy said that he feared that he was facing a prison sentence of at least 3 years on some other pending charges that he had. But yet this guy was on a work detail. You know, here in the state of Virginia, you ain't getting on no work detail with no pending charges. That ain't happening at all. You're gonna be sentenced, you're gonna have nonviolent offenses, you're gonna have no failure to appear, you're gonna have no assault and batteries. To get on a work detail here in Virginia, they got some very strict guidelines to who they're gonna be accepting on those work details. They said Joshua Perdue, 34 years old, was spotted by a Multnomah County sheriff. That is the most impossible location for me to try to pronounce. Multnomah. Actually, I think I just got it right there. They said he was spotted by a sheriff, and as soon as he was spotted by the sheriff, and I guess the sheriff approached him, he said verbatim, "You got me," when the detective identified himself to the inmate. At this point, this dude wasn't no inmate. He was a fugitive. According to a probable cause affidavit, Perdue claimed that he was planning to see his girlfriend just one more time before leaving the city. Why? Why didn't I just leave the city? Why did I have to go see that girl or go attempt to see that girl when I knocked on the door? Jody answered them. "Jody, what you doing at my girl's house when I'm supposed to be locked up? I should have left the city." "Oh, you ain't, Jody, you a detective." Now, the way they say this, Joshua Perdue was able to escape, and again, no relation to the Perdue chicken family, but they said while the work detail was going out, this was a crew of 7 prisoners, and as they were leaving to go out on assignment, they were going out through one door when old Perdue chicken at the back of the line turned and he went out another door and just ran, and he was gone. He ain't looked back. The guard did not realize this prisoner was gone until they got on the van and they were counting the prisoners and realized, "Hey, where Perdue chicken at? Hey, where Perdue chicken? Perdue chicken, where you? Hey, we gotta run it. There was only 7 prisoners. I didn't even notice one was missing. That would only make 6. Joshua Perdue had been sentenced to 90 days in jail on April 20th for violating his probation related to prior convictions of first-degree burglary and third-degree robbery convictions. But he also faced additional charges for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and possession of a stolen vehicle. I'm wondering if those 2 charges are related to the same vehicle, or if this dude thought he was in that movie Gone in 60 Seconds or something and just couldn't keep his hands off of other people's property. And I'm guessing it's more the latter than the first, because of the fact this guy's got first-degree burglary, third-degree robbery, unauthorized use of a vehicle, possession of a stolen vehicle. What did you think you was, Joshua Perdue? You think you was Nicolas Cage from that movie? This third escape is absolutely classic. This one happened a couple of months ago. You've probably seen the video for this. But one thing I want to say first with this is the guy involved in this, a guy by the name of Michael Maldonado, age 25, from Portridge, where the hell is Portridge at? Indiana, I think. But this Michael Maldonado dude, he's actually a friend of one of the APS patrons, a guy by the name of Zach. He's actually the one that plugged me into this story, asking me if I had heard about this, and I most certainly have, as I'm sure a lot of you have as well. But again, this is just absolutely crazy. Because this guy was being arrested for resisting law enforcement with injury, in possession of a hypodermic needle. And when this guy was being transported to the jail, going through the sally port, the car pulls into the sally port and the gate begins to close down behind the car. The cops are already outside of the car. And then no sooner than the gate's about yay far from the ground, this guy busts out of the back of the cop car and books. This guy is able to get underneath that door like he's Indiana Jones. The cops see this dude run underneath this door, and by the time they're able to catch up to this guy, the door is already shut too far for them to get out themselves. They actually have to try to get out through the door, and by this point, this guy, he is gone. And then the outside camera shows this dude running like he's Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run! Get away, Forrest, you got to run! Don't stop running, Forrest! This dude was running pretty damn fast, and he still had the cuffs on him while doing so. And old Michael Malinato, he wouldn't stay on the run for too long neither, even though he made this elaborate Indiana Jones-like escape. He also would end up being apprehended just a short time later. But it's with these first three crazy escape stories that we've mentioned that brings us to the one that I've wanted to share with you guys the most. And this one by far is without a doubt the most absolutely crazy one that we have, and this one just happened like yesterday or the day before. This is absolutely crazy. If you have not heard about this, you are not even gonna believe this. When I first saw this, I thought this was a fake news story because I thought to myself, I had heard and seen everything in relation to doing time. I mean, just yesterday, I told you about some tweets from a dude who said that he had spent 2.5 days in isolation, 4.5 days in general population, and I thought that right there was the most crazy thing I had ever heard about until last night I run across this story right here. Mark Schultz, age 22, serving time for driving under the influence. And people, when I tell you how much time this guy was serving, you are not even gonna believe it. I have never heard anything more insane in my life. This dude was serving 4 whole days. 4 days. That's 48 hours plus 48 hours. That's 72 hours plus 24. I don't know, but that's not very long at all. 4 single days. You know, people often say, Joe, how crazy is being locked up? Like, how bad is it? I wouldn't even want to experience 1 day of that. And you know, a perfect example of that thinking right there is this guy right here, 22-year-old Mark Schwartz, who was only serving 4 days. And the reason why this guy is such a perfect example of that type of thinking is because after only 2 days locked up, this dumbass attempted to escape from jail. Oh my God. I can't. Some of these stories that I run across, what was this guy thinking? Oh my God. Mark Schwartz, a Forestville man who was halfway through serving a 4-day sentence for driving under the influence, escaped from a North County detention facility in Sonoma County on Friday night, and he was captured 38 minutes later. Okay. I'm trying to keep it together, but this is just so unbelievable to me. This dude had 4 days, and after 2 days, he just could not take it anymore. He was like, man, jail, this ain't for me. They gave me 4 days for driving under the influence. How am I supposed to do 4 days? I only been here for 48 hours. I can't take it anymore. I gotta get out of here. Mark Schwartz scaled this tall fence capped with razor wire, got tangled up and cut to pieces inside of this razor wire, but was then able to free himself and was able to remain free for 38 minutes. I'm free! Why they got a police helicopter up there? Why I hear all these canines in the background? The detention facility was locked down and an inmate count determined Schultz was the escapee. An alert citizen reported a man running through tall grass in a nearby field, and the search then established a perimeter around that area. More than 20 sheriff's deputies, a sheriff's helicopter, a canine unit, the California Highway Patrol, the Santa Rosa Junior College Police. They even had some junior college police involved in this search. Do you hear the type of resources that went into trying to find this guy who had only been locked up for 2 days and only remained free after trying to escape for 38 minutes? They had a helicopter, they had the canine unit, the highway patrol, the regular police, the college police. Deputies soon found this dude in a nearby creek. This dude must have thought that he was Harrison Ford from The Fugitive. Except old Mark Schwartz, he only lasted 38 minutes as a free man. What exactly could you do in 38 minutes? Think about that. And I want you to comment as well if you would like to do so. But in 38 minutes, if you escaped from prison and you only had 38 minutes, what would you do? Where would you go? Those are actual partial lyrics to an old song called 24 Hours to Live. If you had 24 hours to live, just think, where would you go? Who would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? And would your ass deny that your ass about to die? I think I messed that up, but it's something to the likes of that. When they caught this guy, they then took him to a local hospital because I'm guessing this dude was cut up worse than some grated cheese, going through that razor wire fence. What you was thinking? You didn't even throw nothing up there to try to get past that. You probably climbed up the fence, so damn, they got razor. I'm going anyway. Oh my God, it stinks so bad. It's like a million hornets all over my body. And you know, one last thing that I want to throw into this story, and I'm going to try to keep this somewhat serious. I'm going to try. But if this dude thought that he couldn't handle jail, if he thought that 4 days was horrible, undoable, something that he just could not fathom, he could not take it any longer after only 2 days, this dude just got him a felony escape charge. And a felony escape charge is going to carry you something like 5 years. So because you couldn't do 4 days, you best to prepare yourself because you're about to be doing 5 years. And if that was here in the state of Virginia, even though it's not, it's over there in California. And I know California and Virginia, they're two completely different coasts. You got the West versus the East. But if that was here in Virginia and you caught you an escape charge, you most certainly going to a level 5. You getting a 5-piece going to a 5. And even though Virginia and California ain't nothing alike, I can guarantee you, with that felony escape charge, boy, you thought 4 days was something in that little county jail you was sitting in. Wait until you get where you're going with all that time they about to hit you with for that escape charge. Because you're going to the big leagues. And you know, before I get into our 5th and final story, I just got one more thought about Mark Schultz's situation, and that is, you know, I wonder if that breaks any world records for the shortest time of any escapee remaining free. You know, 38 minutes? Dude, you ain't last no time. I'm wondering if there's a shorter amount of time with any other escape attempts. And if you guys know of any information about that, please comment down below and let me know that as well. Because in my opinion, 38 minutes might just be the world's dumbest criminal. You might have just been crowned that. Our 5th and final story comes from New York. This just happened a couple of days ago as well, where a prisoner escaped police custody at a hospital. Now, this guy's name was Kevin Taylor, who had been arrested for weapons charges and drug possession charges on Wednesday. And I guess something happened when he was being arrested. I don't know exactly what it was. They said he was taken to the hospital for an undisclosed injury. And while at the hospital, Kevin Taylor would hatch his plan, and also for good reason as well. Because you see, old Kevin Taylor, he's been arrested 40 previous times with 18 sealed adjudication. I can't pronounce that word. I'm thinking maybe that's something from his juvenile record. I don't know, but he's been arrested 40 previous times, meaning it's pretty likely this dude has a very substantial criminal history. And being that he just got arrested on Wednesday for drug charges and gun charges, he knew he was facing a lot of time. They said Kevin Taylor, 27, was in custody at St. Barnabas Hospital. I know I mispronounced that. When he created a diversion and made his rapid escape at about 6:40 a.m. Now, the diversion, they don't really go into too much detail about this. They say that he threw a container at an officer with an unidentified liquid in it. It could very likely be what prisoners refer to as a stink bomb, where they fill up a milk container with pee and poop, and they fill this thing up and they use this to at guards or anybody passing by their cells. They use this as an actual prison weapon. They use this for a lot of different reasons. It's absolutely nasty. There's a very good possibility what he threw at this officer could have been something similar to that also. But what's really crazy about this particular escape is how they describe what this looked like as this dude was running and the police were chasing him. A witness actually said this guy was running like the Olympic gold medal runner Usain Bolt. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. And the police, they were running like Oprah Winfrey. It was embarrassing, said one source. Can you imagine what that had to look like? This guy running like Usain Bolt, running for dear life with those 40 previous convictions or those 40 previous arrests or those 40 previous run-ins with the law, knowing this dude was running for his dear life. Because he knew if he went to jail, went to court, he was probably going to be convicted of these charges and be sent away for a really long time. And the story goes on to say that this dude ran like Usain Bolt, still with one cuff on his wrist. And I'm not 100% sure about this, but I haven't seen anything saying that this guy has been apprehended yet. So of these 4 crazy, unbelievable prison escapes that we just talked about in this video, this guy right here, old Kevin Taylor, might actually be that one guy running like Usain Bolt with a bunch of Oprah Winfrey's chasing after him. I can't even imagine what that would look like. Please, somebody create a meme for me of this so I can get a little better visual understanding of what potentially this could have looked like. But of all 5 of the crazy stories that we've talked about in this video, this guy might actually be that one guy still out there free. And that's all we have for you here on the Evening World News World Star Hip Hop Evening News. Could have said that a little bit better. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day.